In 1963, a man in the small town of Derinkuyu, central Turkey, swung a hammer through a basement wall and heard something hollow. He expected an empty crawl space. What he found was a corridor, and beyond it, a maze stretching for miles. Within days, archaeologists arrived to realize the impossible, an entire city hidden beneath their feet. Tunnels descending more than 80 meters, ventilation shafts, wine cellars, wells, chapels, and thousands of living quarters, carved directly into volcanic rock. An underground metropolis designed to sustain up to 20,000 people, and then forgotten for centuries. To understand how such a place could exist, we traveled to Cappadocia, a region of soft volcanic tufa sculpted by wind and water into chimneys and valleys like nowhere else on Earth. This stone is a builder's dream and a geologist's curiosity, soft enough to carve, sturdy enough to stand for millennia. For thousands of years, people here have cut homes and churches into rock faces. But Derinkuyu went far beyond simple shelter. It was a civilization turned inward. Archaeologists believe Derinkuyu dates back as far as the 8th century BCE. Some credit the Phrygians, an Iron Age people known for metalwork and stone skill. Later, Persians, Romans, and Byzantine Christians expanded it. Each new era dug deeper. Each generation left its own crossmarks, kilns, and air shafts. But why live underground at all? In ancient Anatolia, raids and invasions were constant. The Hittites before them built similar refuges to survive enemy attacks. Beneath the surface lay safety, invisible from the sky. Walk the tunnels today and you feel the logic of a city built for survival. Passages narrow just enough for one person, easy to defend. Circular stone doors weighing hundreds of kilos slide shut from the inside. Ventilation shafts carry air to every level, and wells bring water protected from surface poisoning. It's engineering so clever that modern architects still debate how it was done with primitive tools. On level 3, archaeologists found stables. On level 4, a school and monastery. Even wine presses and oil mills. Because faith and daily life never stopped, even when the world above was at war. Imagine life without sunlight for weeks. Lamps burned animal fat and vegetable oil. Residents slept in carved alcoves, their breathing echoing through stone. Children played in roomy chambers. Roosters crowed underground to mark a day no one could see. Derinkuyu wasn't just a bunker. It was a functioning ecosystem. Livestock, grain, tools, even graves shared space in the underground dark. Every carved handprint along these walls is a testament to our instinct to adapt. When the surface was chaos, people literally moved hope underground. Down here, time moved differently. The rhythm of Derinkuyu followed oil lamps and breath, not sunrise or moon. At dawn above ground, women of Cappadocia ground grain into flour. Below, centuries earlier, their ancestors did the same by hand with basalt stones. Children learned their letters etched into wall dust. Priests whispered liturgies before rock-carved altars. Centuries later, Christian communities fleeing Roman and Arab persecution found safety in these depths. Archaeologists have uncovered chapels with Greek crosses cut into arches, painted frescoes long faded, their pigments stolen by time. Here, people worshipped without fear. A stone church 40 meters below the surface rang not with bells, but with murmured hymns. What does it say about faith when humans choose to build a cathedral under the earth, rather than raise one toward heaven? Maybe that hope doesn't always need light, just endurance. Derinkuyu was built for defense as much as devotion. When raiders approached, massive circular doors rolled into place, sealing tunnels between levels. Stone grooves still show where doors slid shut, each one handled by 4 men. If invaders found the upper levels, residents retreated deeper, removing stairs behind them like a spider cutting silk. Wells were protected from poison, smoke vented through concealed paths. Every detail planned for siege and survival. Imagine an entire community moving as one organism, closing, breathing, waiting for danger to pass. That's how Derinkuyu endured for millennia. And then, just as abruptly as they had moved in, the inhabitants moved out. As threats faded and empires died, dissent became memory. For centuries, the entrances filled with dust until only legends remained. That's how, in 1963, a man punching through his basement wall rediscovered it. A door left ajar by time. Today, Derinkuyu is open to the public and protected as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, a living museum of the human instinct to hide and hope at once. Today, Derinkuyu welcomes more than 500,000 visitors each year. Tour guides carry torches into corridors first dug nearly 3,000 years ago. Archaeologists continue mapping side tunnels that may extend for dozens of kilometers, connecting Derinkuyu to other underground cities in Cappadocia, Kaymakli, Özkonak, and Tatlarin. Imagine entire communities linked in darkness, long before any global network existed. Using 3D laser scans and ground-penetrating radar, scientists are still documenting rooms previously unknown, storage, workshops, and tunnels so tight that only robots can crawl through them. Derinkuyu is no longer just a mystery. It's a playground for modern science. Who were the geniuses behind this labyrinth? No inscriptions bear their names. The builders worked anonymously, generation after generation, turning rock into architecture without credit or blueprints. They knew the geology so well that they cut through soft tufa while avoiding the harder, unstable basalt, an understanding our modern engineers still admire. Their calculus was experience. Their design plan was survival. Every hammer mark on these walls is a signature of resilience, proof that necessity turns humans into architects of the impossible. Every great mystery breeds theories, and Derinkuyu is no exception. Some claim it was built by the Phrygians as refuge after war. Others say Byzantine Christians expanded it to hide from Arab forces. And then there are the fringe theories, ancient aliens, lost Atlanteans, underground civilizations hidden since prehistory. Archaeologists are kind when they hear these claims. They understand why people invent myth when faced with genius they don't yet understand. Carbon dating, tool analysis, and historical records point to human hands, not aliens, as the creators. What's more extraordinary is that human beings carved a city so complex with nothing but chisels and fire lamps. Sometimes the truth is astonishing enough. Below Cappadocia, the earth still breathes. Air moves through shafts carved by souls who refused to give up on tomorrow. Derinkuyu teaches that civilization is not just what we build up, it's what we preserve when we go down into darkness and wait for peace to return. A city without sky, built not for glory, but for life. And perhaps that's the most shocking truth of all, that hope, when pressed by fear, will always find a way to breathe underground.